Episode 357 is all about the 2023 WWE Royal Rumble. Who walked out of the men's and women's Royal Rumble matches punching their ticket to get a title shot at WrestleMania. Who walked out as the Raw Women's Champion, Alexa Bliss or Bianca Belair. What was the first ever Mountain Dew pitch black match like? Also, who walked out of the Royal Rumble as the undisputed WWE Universal Champion? Roman Reigns, Kevin Owens. Also, is Sami Zayn still part of the bloodline? We'll talk about all that. The road to WrestleMania has started right here, right now. 360 Wrestling Fanatic. And welcome, wrestling fans, to 360 Wrestling Fanatic. I am your host, Lance Brock. Thank you for tuning in. And what a night. Now, morning, it is 1:28 a.m. as at the time of this recording. After a great Royal Rumble this year, in my opinion, I waited a little bit to start the podcast, though. Watched the press conference on Peacock. That's why it's a little later. I will get to that as soon as I finish talking about the Royal Rumble Premium Live event. Hope everyone else also enjoyed the Royal Rumble tonight. I know I did. And without no further ado, let's get started with this episode. And we start things off, though, with the Royal Rumble kickoff, sponsored by Cricket Wireless. The kickoff panel: Kayla Braxton, Jerry the King Lawler, Booker T, Kevin Patrick, and Dave Rosenberg. I almost forgot his name again. Or is it Peter Rosenberg? I messed his name up. I don't even remember what his name is. He's that one radio guy that's on all the panels. I know it's Rosenberg, but I don't remember his first name. David or Peter something. If he's listening, I don't think he is. I'm pretty sure he isn't, but just in case if he is, I'm sorry. Messed up your name. But on the kickoff, as the usual, they run down the card and don't have any more matches on the kickoffs anymore. That's fine, though. But we do find out that Roman Reigns tells the Usos to stay in the back, and Solo too, that he only wants Sami out there. And that was definitely the most notable thing coming out of the kickoff show. And now, on to the main card, the 2023 Royal Rumble. And we start things off surprisingly, or at least I was kind of surprised anyway. Don't know about anyone else. But we start off with the men's Royal Rumble match. I was kind of thinking that since not really either one of the Royal Rumble matches had like a really big build, I would say, but I was expecting the women's one to go on first and then the men's Royal Rumble closing the premium live event. But I was wrong, and I'm fine with it, because, like I said, it was a great Royal Rumble tonight. But let's get on to the men's Royal Rumble match, and we start things off with Gunther and Sheamus, the first two in this match. And then they are joined by The Miz, who comes out, and then before he gets the ring, Sheamus is waiting for him, and he stalls a little bit, but then he gets in. Number 4, we have Kofi Kingston, followed by number 5, Mr. Wrestling Johnny Gargano, and he enters the ring. Kofi was there by the ropes. He goes through the ropes, spears Kofi Kingston. Sheamus does the 10 beats on The Miz. And The Miz is eliminated by Sheamus at this time. Number 6, Xavier Woods. So we now have the New Day in the match. And there's a spot where it looks like Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods are going to, since it is every man for himself, gonna go at it. But then they do this. I don't know why or how this happened, but Michael Cole calls it the wheelbarrow butt slap, and that's how it sounds. They did this wheelbarrow thingy, and for some reason slapped each other's butts. I'm not sure why this happened, but it did. I wouldn't say this was the high points of the night, but there it was. Number 7, Karrion Kross. Number 8, Shush please, Chad Gable. Number 9, Drew McIntyre. Karrion Kross is eliminated by Drew McIntyre at this time. Number 10, Santos Escobar. Number 11, one half of the Street Profits, Angelo Dawkins. Now, Xavier Woods is eliminated by Gunther and Kofi Kingston as well. And at this point, when Kingston and Woods are eliminated, there is a chair at ringside. I don't know if this was I think this was a mistake, because the chair was there. I think this was going to be one of the usual Kofi Kingston spots where he avoids being eliminated, but he falls right into the chair. And there's even one point Michael Cole points out that his leg was kind of over the chair, and his one foot was not touching the floor, so kinda sounded like they might have had him, since the one foot didn't touch, might have him get back in the ring, but that did not happen. But I think the original plan was to have him do something like that, where he would avoid elimination and get back in the ring. Don't know that for sure, so I could be wrong, but it kind of looked like there was a mistake there. Kofi did not get back into the Royal Rumble. I felt bad for him, though, if that was the case, because that wasn't the first time. Was it? I want to say it might have been last year's Rumble when he was doing one of those spots again where he was knocked off the apron and he was supposed to land on the barricade, but it didn't work out too well, and his feet ended up touching the floor, both of them, and it was on camera, so they couldn't really do anything to cover it up. Everybody saw it, so he was eliminated. Unfortunately for Kofi Kingston, like I said, I feel bad for him that was the case tonight. But live TV, you never know. Sometimes things go wrong. And number 12, Brock Lesnar. He comes right into the ring, starts hitting German suplexes. And at this point right now, Santos Escobar, Chad Gable, Angelo Dawkins are all eliminated by Brock Lesnar. And time for number 13 now, and it is the man who Lesnar cheated out of winning the United States Championship, Bobby Lashley. And Brock Lesnar is eliminated by Bobby Lashley. And of course, Brock is furious. He loses it, puts the steel steps on the announce table, slams them on the announce table, I should say. He just didn't put them on there. And then, of course, has one of his hissy fits. And number 14, Baron Corbin, making his way to the ring. But just when he is getting close to the ring, unfortunately for Baron Corbin, when Brock Lesnar is right there, he grabs Corbin, gives him an F5 on the floor. And like I mentioned this morning on Good Morning Wrestling Fans, and 360 Wrestling Fanatic the other day as well, that I thought that it was something like this was going to happen, where it would set up a WrestleMania match between Bobby Lashley and Brock Lesnar, and with Lashley eliminating Lesnar tonight in the Rumble. It looks like that could happen. I don't see a match being an elimination chamber or anything. So I think that's what we're going to get at WrestleMania. Brock Lesnar versus Bobby Lashley. And number 15, Seth freaking Rollins comes out. When he gets to ringside, he picks up Corbin, rolls him into the ring, and then Baron Corbin is eliminated by Seth Rollins right away. Number 16, one half of the Alpha Academy, the other half. Chad Gable was already in, but this time it is Otis. And number 17 is supposed to be Rey Mysterio, but we do not see Rey Mysterio. He does not come out at all. And that's it. And but before the next entry, Bobby Lashley is eliminated by Seth Rollins. And now time for number 18, and it is Dominic Mysterio, who comes out wearing his father Rey Mysterio's mask. Although we did not see it, it was, of course, hinted that Dominic did something, or not just Dominic, but the Judgment Day did something to Rey Mysterio in the back, and that was the reason he did not come out. And then he took off the mask and ripped it. And when I was talking about my predictions this morning on GMWF, I said that I thought Dominic might have eliminated his father from the Royal Rumble. So I wasn't exactly right with my prediction, because when I said that, I was talking about in the ring, throwing him over the top rope. But in a way, he did kind of eliminate him from the match, since it was the reason that Rey Mysterio was not able to compete in the match tonight. So this could still definitely set up a father versus son match at WrestleMania. But who knows, maybe Monday on Raw, they could say cameras were rolling in the back and they caught the footage, what happened of the Judgment Day attacking Rey in the back, and we could possibly see it then. So we have to wait and see for that. And at this time now, Otis is eliminated. Number 19, Elias. And Sheamus and Drew McIntyre hit the brogue kick and the Claymore onto Elias, and then they eliminate Elias together. 20 some backup for Dominic Mysterio. Representing the Judgment Day is Finn Balor. At this time, Johnny Gargano is eliminated by Dominic and Finn. 21. We saw him on the kickoff panel. WWE Hall of Famer Booker T. This is not the first time that Booker T has been one of the surprise entries in the Rumble. And I remember the one year, I think, is when he was on commentary. That was also the same year Jerry Lawler got up from the announce table and got in, and even Michael Cole. And Booker T is eliminated by Gunther. 22. The other member of the Judgment Day, Damian Priest, is out next. And 23, we have the other half of the Street Profits, Montez Ford. Ford is eliminated by Damian Priest. Number 24, another surprise appearance, which wasn't advertised. The rated R superstar Edge, of course, no surprise here. He goes right after the Judgment Day. And eliminates Damian Priest and Finn Balor. And goes to eliminate Dominic, but then Damian Priest and Finn Balor from the floor grab Edge and pull him over, eliminating him. And then Edge attacks Priest and Balor, go up the aisle, and then Rhea Ripley makes her way from the entrance and attacks Edge. But then we see Edge's wife, Beth Phoenix, the Glamazon, make her way out and attack Rhea Ripley, making the save for Edge. Number 25, the United States champion, A-Town Down, starts playing Austin Theory. And Omos 26. 27 is Braun Strowman. Omos is eliminated by Braun Strowman. Number 28, Ricochet. Michael Cole mentions this as backup for Strowman, as they've been teaming together recently. And at this time now, Drew McIntyre and Sheamus are both eliminated by Gunther. Sheamus in their 52 minutes, 30 seconds. Very impressive performance by Sheamus tonight in the men's Rumble. Remember, the two that started it off, the first two in the ring, Sheamus and Gunther. Sheamus now eliminated, but Gunther is still in there. And going strong too. 29 is, it's been a little bit since we've seen him, but it is Logan Paul. I just want to say, but before I get to that though, gotta go in order here with my notes. Number 30, the last entry, Cody Rhodes. And then Cody comes in, the fresh man in the ring. But then Dominic ends up going for the Three Amigos, but Cody stops it before the third one. And Dominic Mysterio is eliminated by the American Nightmare. And this is what I was going to get to when I mentioned Logan Paul being in the match. There is a crazy spot. Logan Paul and Ricochet both on opposite sides of the ring, on the ring apron. And they both jump springboard off the top rope and then collide in the middle of the ring. If for some reason you missed this, I'm sure it probably already is all over social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, everywhere by now probably. Either, what's it called, a GIF or a GIF. I don't know how you say it, but like I said, I'm sure that is all over social media right now. If for some reason you did not see the men's Rumble match, or if you just missed that spot somehow, definitely check that out. That was awesome spot. The two of them colliding right in the middle of the ring. Braun Strowman is eliminated. Ricochet eliminated by Austin Theory. And then Theory is eliminated by Seth Rollins and Cody Rhodes. Rhodes and Rollins both hit Gunther with the pedigree. And at this point, everybody forgot that Logan Paul is actually still in the match. He rolls in, tries to be a little sneaky, but he is eliminated. Or he eliminates, I should say, Seth Rollins. And then Cody Rhodes eliminates Logan Paul. 1 hour, 11 minutes. Or he eliminates Gunther. My mistake. The final two. Cody Rhodes and Gunther. And I have to admit, just because of the performance in this one, Gunther, very impressive. Impressed me very much, and I was actually rooting for him to go over in this one, but instead WWE had Cody win. But I think they should have had Gunther win this one, but unfortunately Cody Rhodes comes out on top of the men's Royal Rumble. And next up on the Royal Rumble is the first ever Mountain Dew Pitch Black match. And at this time, I actually have one right here. A can, not a 20 ounce that was on the table at the press conference, which Cody Rhodes sampled. But I'll talk about that a little later on. And open that up. And I had one when I watched the match, so should probably have one while talking about the match too, right here on the podcast. And this match, I usually try not to be too negative, so I'll just say I didn't really care for it. Wasn't that great. And see, I try not to be like most of the wrestling internet fans. It just wasn't that good. I'll just say that. But this, I think it mainly was just for an advertisement for Mountain Dew Pitch Black, which I like. But it wasn't anything really that add to the match or anything. They turned the lights off, had the glowing stuff. LA Knight and Bray Wyatt, their gear was glowing, the ropes were, they had the special canvas, I'm guessing, with the Pitch Black logo in the middle, that was glowing, and they had the stuff on the announce desk and ringside you could see. It just wasn't a big fan of it, the presentation or anything, to be honest. They brawl outside on the floor. Wyatt clears the announce desk, sets up the steps, tries to suplex LA Knight through the announce table, but Knight counters. and drives Bray Wyatt through the announce table, and they get back in the ring. Wyatt wins it 5 minutes, 5 seconds, like I said. Really, this was just pretty much a no-holds-barred match. No DQs, no countouts, and the only thing that was different was the lighting with all the glowing stuff. And like I mentioned, nothing real special here. Wyatt wins, but then after the match, we see Bray Wyatt put this new mask on that we have never seen before. Has got some red on it, and he takes LA Knight through the crowd, and then they go onto the stage that was set up, and Wyatt gets the mandible claw locked in on LA Knight, and then there's a structure over there, and we see Uncle Howdy, and he does a big elbow drop off it onto LA Knight through the stage, and there's an explosion and flames, and that's it. So we do see Uncle Howdy, but not that I was expecting a reveal or anything, but there was not. And I wouldn't say anything like really big like happened. Well, that was a big elbow drop, but other than that, I wouldn't say, maybe it's just me, but nothing really that eventful. And that was it. And now it is announced the attendance is 51,338. I'm not sure if that is the actual number, but I would say, I'm definitely no expert, but I would say it's probably at least close to the actual number, would be my guess. And now at the Royal Rumble, the Raw Women's Championship is on the line. Alexa Bliss taking on Bianca Belair. This match starts off okay, I think. And then at one point, Alexa Bliss goes for the Sister Abigail. Belair counters it, hits the KOD, gets the win, 7 minutes, 33 seconds to retain the Raw Women's Championship. And then after Bianca Belair exits with her title, Alexa Bliss is left alone in the ring, and then the lights go out, the usual Bray Wyatt stuff on the screen, Uncle Howdy saying again, like he did a little while back, "Do you feel in charge?" And Alexa left alone in the ring, and that's it. And now at this time, we get Applebee's commercial with Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch. And speaking of commercials, earlier during the kickoff, we saw, and also during the main card, Papa John's commercial with the Usos. Also get a commercial for the Elimination Chamber next month. And now at this time, it is the Women's Royal Rumble match. And we start things off with the first two women in this match. Number one, representing the Judgment Day, is Rhea Ripley. And number two, getting her wish, pretty much. If you remember, a little while back, she said she actually wanted to be number one but number 2 is pretty much the same. It is Liv Morgan. So Ripley and Morgan starting it off. They start hitting each other right off. Hard hitting. And number 3, Dana Brooke. Number 4, Emma. Number 5, Shayna Baszler. And number 6, Bayley. And then number 7, representing Hit Row, B-Fab. She doesn't last too long though, as B-Fab is eliminated by Rhea Ripley. Number 8 is NXT Women's Champion Roxanne Perez, the student of Booker T. Number 9, Dakota Kai, representing Damage Control, in there to help out Bayley. And then number 10, the rest of Damage Control. Now all 3 in. Io Sky. Dana Brooke is eliminated by Damage Control. Emma is eliminated by Dakota Kai by herself. And then Roxanne Perez is eliminated by Damage Control. Number 11, Natalya Neidhart, returning after having her nose broken by Shayna Baszler a little while back. So, of course, she tries to go right after her, but has to fight through a few other people. And then Shayna attacks Natalya from behind. Number 12, Candice LeRae. And at this time, both Natalya and Shayna Baszler are eliminated by Damage Control. 13, another one from NXT, Zoe Starks. 14 is Xia Li. Candice LeRae is now eliminated once again by Damage Control, being very dominant in this Women's Rumble. 15, the halfway point, Becky Lynch. 16, another one from NXT, Tegan Knox. 17, we see the return of Asuka, but this wasn't exactly the same Asuka we have most recently seen. She's gone back to her old face paint pre-WWE, and she also has new theme music. 18, we see another return here of someone who we have not seen in a while. It is Piper Niven. Not Dewdrop, but Piper Niven making a return in the Women's Royal Rumble. And one thing I just want to say, I thought was kind of silly, because the commentators, Michael Cole, and I forgot to mention at the top of the show, the commentators for tonight, Michael Cole, Corey Graves, as usual for premium live events, thought that's what that was going to be. But then, unfortunately, we see the return of Pat McAfee, and he makes it a 3-man team tonight. I'm not sure if this is permanent or not, or it could have hopefully just a one-time thing. Hopefully it'll just, on SmackDown, will stay Michael Cole and Wade Barrett, and no Pat McAfee. And what I was going to say, kind of lost track there for a second. lost my train of thought there for a second, but what I was going to say was they kept thinking of ways to say things about do, and then they would say drop, or they would say drop first and then say do, and then even say, make a reference to Kenan and Kel when Kel would say, who loves orange soda? Kel loves orange soda. Is it true? I do. And I thought that was just a little too much. Okay, they could have just said, no longer do drop, but instead they had to try to be funny and say little things like that. Number 19, Tamina Snuka. And I forgot to mention this. Damage Control did get Becky Lynch outside of the ring, left her lane, and now at this time, Becky Lynch gets back in the ring. Number 20, Chelsea Green, making her return to WWE. She gets in, but then is quickly eliminated right away by Rhea Ripley, and has the record for the shortest time in the women's Royal Rumble. Just like at one time it was Bushwhacker Luke. He came in doing the usual Bushwhacker walk and then walked across the ring and then got eliminated. I remember that call, Gorilla Monsoon, saying he whacked his way in and whacked his way out. And then that record for the men's Rumble, of course, was broken by Santino Marella in 2009, I believe. Dakota Kai is eliminated at this time, and Io Sky by Becky Lynch. And then Becky Lynch is eliminated by Bayley. And Bayley is eliminated by Liv Morgan. We got some quick eliminations. Bing, bang, boom. Right there. Back to back to back. And number 21, Zelina Vega. And she's dressed up like a Street Fighter character. And Michael Cole mentions about a new Street Fighter game coming out, and Zelina's doing commentary or something for it. Now, I played Street Fighter when I was younger, but I don't remember any of the characters' names. I do remember that one girl, though. I don't know if that's who Zelina was supposed to be, and then there was that one, the sumo guy, and then that one guy in the red, and then I don't even remember, like I said, any of their names or anything. Number 22 is Raquel Rodriguez. 23 is Mia Yim, which, like I always talk about, I don't think they know what they want to call her. Sometimes it's just Michin. Sometimes it's Michin Mia Yim. But when she does come out, she does have a Jay Briscoe armband on. "24, Lacey Evans. 25, Michelle McCool, who came from the front row. Just before the Rumble, we saw Michelle McCool sitting there with her daughters. Looked like she was just there to watch the show, but she ended up being one of the surprise entries. 26 from NXT, Indy Hartwell. 27, Sonya Deville. At this time now, Zelina Vega is eliminated by Lacey Evans, 28, Shotzi Blackheart, 29, Nikki Cross, and number 30, closing out the Women's Rumble entries, we have the returning Nia Jax. And all 30 women have made their entrances now. And she, being one of the biggest in the ring, they gang up on her. And then there's one point very impressive by Rhea Ripley, hits the Riptide on Nia Jax. And then Nia Jax is eliminated by a group of 11 superstars in this one, which of course, just like in the men's, like not just Royal Rumble, but Battle Royals, that's the strategy when you get the biggest one in there for everybody else to gang up, try to get rid of them. Get them out of the ring as soon as you can. Lacey Evans is eliminated by Raquel Rodriguez. And Sonya Deville is eliminated by Asuka. Michelle McCool is eliminated by Rhea Ripley. Piper Niven eliminated by Raquel Rodriguez. And then Raquel Rodriguez is eliminated by Rhea Ripley. Nikki Cross eliminated by Liv Morgan. Down to the final 3. Asuka goes to hit Rhea Ripley with the mist, but she ducks, and Liv Morgan gets it, and Asuka is eliminated. And it is now down to the final 2, Rhea Ripley and Liv Morgan, who is blinded, and Rhea Ripley eliminates Liv Morgan, winning the Women's Royal Rumble match. Hour, 10 minutes. Another impressive performance. Rhea Ripley, she was great in this match. And starting off at number 1 and winning it. Of course, pointing to the WrestleMania sign, just like the tradition. And I am glad to say Rhea Ripley was my pick to win the Women's Royal Rumble. So, depending on the decision now, she will either be facing Bianca Belair or Charlotte Flair at WrestleMania, or who knows, the NXT Women's Championship. We'll just have to wait and see on who Rhea Ripley will be facing at WrestleMania. And this Women's Rumble I thought was very good. I definitely enjoyed this one. And not only just Rhea Ripley, but there was, all of them were really good in this match. And now on to the main event of the evening for the WWE Universal Championship. And we have Kevin Owens taking on the head of the table, the tribal chief, Roman Reigns. And Reigns makes his way out with the wise man, Paul Heyman, and the honorary Uce, Sami Zayn. First, when we start the match, we get Sami Uso chants from the San Antonio crowd. Starts off pretty fast and hard hitting. Owens goes for a super kick, but Reigns counters it with a powerbomb for a 2 count. Also, Reigns goes for a spear, but misses it into the corner. Owens hits a swanton for another 2 count. And at one point, Owens goes to the top again, has a little mishap, maybe slips on the ropes or something, but then he goes for a moonsault, misses that. Reigns hits a spear, gets a 2 count. The referee goes down now. Owens hits a pop-up power bomb, but there is no referee there to count it. Reigns hits a low blow. Since the referee is still down, there is no disqualification. And Reigns screams at Sami Zayn at this time to get a chair. And Sami hesitates a little bit, which Owens is able to recover a little, hits Reigns with a stunner, but Reigns gets his shoulder up, and then Roman hits another spear for a 2 count once again. Sami is telling KO to stay down on the floor, and Roman spears Owens through the barricade, and then he picks him up, slams his back, the back of his head into the steel steps twice, gets him back in the ring, hits another spear, pins Kevin Owens. Roman Reigns wins the match at 19 minutes, 15 seconds to remain the undisputed Universal Champion. Now, at this time, we see the rest of the bloodline come out. The Usos and Solo Sikoa, they make their way to the ring, and this leads to a post-match attack on Kevin Owens. The Usos hit the 1D, Solo hits the Samoan spike, and the attack in the corner with a chair around the neck of Kevin Owens. And then Roman Reigns gets some handcuffs. They handcuff him to the top rope. While this attack is going on, you can see Sami Zayn is not comfortable with it. And he kind of looks like he wants to stop him. And then Reigns goes to hit Owens with the chair while he is handcuffed to the top rope. But then Sami finally does something. He steps in between Roman Reigns and Kevin Owens. He tells Roman that this is beneath him, that he is better than this. He tries to talk him out of this. Tries to talk him out of it. Roman hands Zayn the chair though, and he says Owens has held him down. He has been an anchor. Reigns says, "I love you," as he tries to convince Sami Zayn to hit Owens with the chair. And then Reigns gets upset, starts slapping Sami, and then Zayn hits Roman with the chair. And Jay starts yelling at Sammy, but then Jimmy Uso hits him with a super kick. And all of them attack Sami Zayn. They destroy him, except for Jay Uso. He looks upset about this. He acts like he does not want to hurt Sammy. On Raw Monday, he called him his brother, and he looks like he still cares about Sami Zayn. And then he's just standing there in the corner, and then they want Jay to join in, and he leaves, goes under the bottom rope, walks away, looking upset, and then as he's walking up the aisle, it looks like he's even crying at this point. And then Roman Reigns starts beating Sami Zayn again with the steel chair. Just destroys him. And the Bloodline standing tall in the ring. And Owens still handcuffed to the top rope. Wow. That's all I have to say. The main event, as I mentioned at the top of the podcast, I was a little surprised that one of the Royal Rumble matches did not close out the show, but I am fine with the way it went down, especially this main event. Not only the match, but the post-match was just fantastic. It was great. The way it ended was just awesome. And now this really got me thinking. I could be wrong, but this is what I started thinking. I want to say it right now, so in case this actually does happen, I could say I haven't listened to any post shows yet. I haven't read any reviews about the show, and so I'm not stealing anybody's idea. That this is mine. I started thinking this right after the main event. What if, for the Elimination Chamber, this leads to a 6-man elimination tag in the Elimination Chamber? Kind of do it. I don't know if I would exactly say War Games style or anything like that, but if you remember, I haven't played any of the WWE video games in a while, but in some of them, they do have that 6-man tag option in the Elimination Chamber. What I was thinking was, with Jey Uso not looking happy about the Bloodline beating down Sami Zayn and then him leaving, could this possibly lead to a match? That match, the 6-man tag in the Elimination Chamber. Roman Reigns, Jimmy Uso, and Solo Sikoa taking on the team of Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, and Jey Uso. That was just what I first thought of after this main event. Now, I might be kind of jumping to conclusions because this doesn't necessarily mean that Jey Uso is leaving the bloodline or anything. Just because he did look a little upset with what was going on. But this is the idea that popped in my head right after this main event. So, I don't know. I could be wrong. But who knows? Like I said, I haven't listened to any other reviews or any other podcasts. I don't know if anybody else also thought of this as a plan for Elimination Chamber. But let me know what you think in the comment section, either on Spreaker right here, or YouTube, or anywhere else you're listening to this podcast. Or if you want, you can email 360wrestlingpodcasts@gmail.com. Let me know if you agree with me, if this could be a possibility of what happens at the Elimination Chamber. But I just wanted to share that idea on the podcast tonight. And next up, we had the press conference, which was live on Peacock and the WWE Network. And first, we are joined by the winner of the Women's Royal Rumble match, Rhea Ripley, where she reveals that she dislocated her knee, and she even said she could smell blood in her nose. But she definitely toughed it out in that match. Once again, I already mentioned this, but Rhea Ripley was great. I like Rhea Ripley even more now than I did before going into the Royal Rumble, and I liked her before, but even more now. And I actually do hope they put the title on her at WrestleMania, no matter who she faces. I think she definitely deserves it. But also will be interesting to see if at WrestleMania they do go with Rey versus Dominic. I mean, I'm sure she could do both. Be involved, be in his corner maybe, or maybe Dominic will say he wants to do it alone, and then she'll have the match for the Women's Championship. And next up is Bray Wyatt. And I don't remember who it is. I apologize. But one of the members of the media who was there asks him about Alexa Bliss. He says he doesn't know. And he says he's not sure, but something will happen between him and Alexa Bliss, and it will be memorable. And then he ends it with saying it's good to be back. Next up, at the Royal Rumble press conference, is the American Nightmare Cody Rhodes, the winner of the Men's Royal Rumble. And as I mentioned briefly earlier in the podcast, that this press conference was sponsored by Mountain Dew Pitch Black, so they had the logo in the background, and they had two 20 ounces on the table, and Cody picks up one of them when he first sits down, and he samples it. He says it's outstanding. I don't know if he really meant that or not, but like I've said, I drank one now during the podcast. I do like it. I think it does taste good. It's back for limited time. And one of the things that Cody says is that Triple H has no reason to be a fan of his. He mentions smashing the throne, reference to what he did at the first Double or Nothing, I believe. Or was that All In? It could have been All In. My mistake. But he does mention that. And then, at one point, he actually does mention AEW. And last but not least, the press conference, Triple H, and he congratulates Cody on his Royal Rumble victory, thanks to WWE Universe. And one of the things he mentions is that this is the most sponsorship revenue in Royal Rumble history. And he's asked about The Rock, whether he's going to be at WrestleMania or not. And Triple H says apparently he can't get in shape in time. That's what you all tell me, he says. But he says he's incredibly busy. And he says if he could be here for WrestleMania, he would turn over every stone and walk through fire to be here. But he's incredibly busy. He keeps saying that. And he says he has an open door invitation to walk through anytime. When he has the time to do it, he can come in and electrify. That was the main highlights of the press conference. Pretty good, I would say. They were mostly out of character, because sometimes when WWE has done press conferences like this before, that they were usually the guys are in character still. But I thought Rhea Ripley, Bray Wyatt, Cody Rhodes, and then Triple H all were very good here. And now the Royal Rumble tonight, I thought it was great. Just my opinion, but this was, other than, like I said earlier, don't want to be too negative, but I would say really the only thing that I really didn't care for on this show was the Mountain Dew Pitch Black match. It just wasn't nothing that special, just with the lights and the effects and stuff. I want to say quite a while ago, I remember seeing a match where they had like the lights where it was dark and the ring and stuff was glowing in AAA at one time. Like I said, this was quite a while ago, but the match was real short. Not that it was a bad match, it's just if this was a TV match, I would say it was fine, maybe even good for a TV match, but for a pay-per-view match, premium live event match, especially one of the big ones, the Royal Rumble, it was a little disappointing. I wasn't a huge fan of it, and this definitely wasn't one of my highlights of the night, but still overall, with the men's Royal Rumble match, the women's Royal Rumble match, and the Raw Women's Championship match, Alexa Bliss and Rhea Ripley, was pretty good. Would I say it was a great match? No, but still good. And then the main event, Kevin Owens and Roman Reigns. The match was great. And then the post-match, the Bloodline turning against Sami Zayn and Jey Uso's performance. Fantastic. This was the best WWE premium live event that maybe in years. I think, who knows, maybe just my opinion, like I always say, but this was a great show. Definitely thumbs up for me. Way up, I would say. But who knows, maybe this is just me. Like I said, I haven't looked online yet for any other reactions or haven't listened to any podcasts yet. I will, though, of course, post wrestling. I always listen to them first most of the time. Also, Sunday night's main event, they were having their live after party right after the show. But I'm just gonna go out on a limb, I guess you could say, and say I think the rest of the pro wrestling community, the reaction is going to be positive. I really don't see how anybody could have like a negative reaction to the show except for the pitch black match. I would say that would be the only thing that some people may not have liked. And if there's anything really bad about the show, it would probably be that. But I think the rest of the show, the 2 Royal Rumble matches, the main event, more than made up for that. So I think overall the reaction's going to be positive, just like me. Again, 2 thumbs up, or 5-star pay-per-view, whatever you want to say. And that is all for this episode of 360 Wrestling Fanatic, episode 357. Thank you very much for listening. As always, stay tuned for more episodes of 360 Wrestling Fanatic. Tomorrow morning, we'll be back. Good morning, wrestling fans. And I might talk more about the Rumble again. Just a much shorter version of the recap. So stay tuned for that tomorrow morning. Good morning, wrestling fans. It is Sunday, so we'll be a little later going to work for 11 on Sundays, so that's why it is a little later. But once again, thank you very much. I hope everyone enjoyed the Royal Rumble tonight just as much as I did. But let me know in the comment section on Spreaker, YouTube, wherever you're listening, or if you want to email 360wrestlingpodcast@gmail.com. Let me know what you thought of it. What was your favorite match? Did you pick right? Did your pick in the men's and the women's Rumble win? I better wrap up and go now. It is 2:42 a.m. now. I'll talk to you all tomorrow morning, GMWF. And like I said at the top of the podcast, we are now on the road to WrestleMania. I am Lance, and I am a wrestling fanatic.